Hi everyone, welcome to a bit of a channel update. Yes, I think it's probably best to do it in video form because some people may not see the updates on Twitter and on the community tab, etc. So some of those who don't know, I'm trying to understand why the disruption to the channel recently. We've had a technical issue. My gaming PC, basically what I thought was the boot loader for the Windows operating system. I thought that had corrupted like it had done a couple of months ago, if you recall, but I was able to recover that. But unfortunately, I've been unable to recover it this time. Now, I did a bit more digging and diving. I was a bit really miffed on Saturday when I was starting to look through this. And then I just had to walk away. I'll be honest, I had to walk away. I was having such a bad Saturday at that point. So I had Sunday off and then came back to it on Monday, yesterday, which was a bank holiday in the UK, which meant public holiday for May Day. And then with a fresh pair of eyes and a bit, had a bit of sleep as well, was able to be a little bit more cool-headed with trying to get it working without panicking and trying to, get it working so it didn't disrupt the schedule. I kind of just accepted that there was going to be disruption, and just to try and do what was right and just get it done sensibly and without kind of overly stressing myself. So what I eventually found out is that the corruption was a little bit more deeper than just the bootloader. So yeah, it ended up me having to I'm not sure if it was it's a relatively new SSD. It's only about 6 months old, which was my C drive, which had the operating system on it. So I'm a little bit suspect maybe if that's failed, and for some weird reason that's what's caused the issue that I experienced. But yeah, so I have taken no chances. I've got a new SSD, and I've put it on there, and I've done a fresh install of Windows 10. So there's some good and there's some bad news that comes along with that. The good news, or should I do the bad news first? I'll do the bad news first, and we can always end with the good news. That's always the best way to do it. Do the bad news first. The bad news is, of course, I've lost everything which was on my C drive. I was unable to recover anything, even though I did attempt to do some recovery. I was unable to do so. That has meant I have lost pretty much most of my personal profiles for video games and everything else, and software whatsoever. So yeah, those video games which do not have the profile on the C drive, when the save game is sort of more local to whichever drive the game was installed on, we've seemed to have been okay and we've got away with it. It's just, unfortunately, in this day and age, a lot of it gets saved to your personal profile under the users in your C drive. So for example, if we go through the video series that we currently run on the channel, we have, on Mondays, we have Total War, Napoleon Total War. Unfortunately, I have lost that save game. So we're going to have to start a new campaign from scratch. I apologise because we're basically filling time when we could complete it any time. We had enough territories, numbers wise. We were one of the most powerful factions in that game. The only thing we had to take was Copenhagen, which we were pushing off because we had our own little agenda to do other things, weren't we? So yeah, there's that's disappointing, I grant you. But it does mean we can start afresh and have well, make amends for all the mistakes we made, I guess you could say. But yeah, so I'm ever so sorry, but we have lost that game. So we're going to have to start from scratch. Some of you will be okay with that. Some of you will just be, oh, I can tell you I was pretty fed up when I was going through all this. But you got to look at the positive side. Next up, we have on Wednesdays, we have currently B17, the Mighty 8th, C Cup Korea. Now, old style game. The save games are local to where the game is installed. the good news is that's all okay. So yes, we've got C-Cup's career. We will be able to continue with that without any problems whatsoever. So that's a bit of positive, isn't it? Then that moves us to Friday, and if you recall, Friday we'd just finished Wilson Overton's career. Unfortunately, not in a positive term. But before we started anything else, we haven't lost anything there because we were just about to start a new career, weren't we? So, the good news is anyway, I've still got the save games of the old games. Obviously, the pilots have now deceased, so I can't continue with them. But they recorded them, so even if that had been a problem and we were mid career, that seems to have been that wouldn't have been a problem, which is good. So that's going to be okay. We'll start that as fresh. Now, the other bad news is, of course, U-boat. U-boat career has also gone. So, yeah, we're not going to be able to get that back, unfortunately. Yeah, it's a bit of a shame, but that's the way it is. We can't recover that one. So what we're going to have to do is start a new U-boat series. Some of you will be pleased, some of you will not so much, but yeah, we'll have to start that fresh, and then all our hard work it'd be wasted. But yeah, okay, we can maybe try some new ideas. Maybe we'll start at the beginning of the war and try and make it all the way to the end in a new career. Maybe with a different U-boat. U-552 served as well, but maybe it's time to have a look at another going forward. So that's kind of the bad news, and obviously the rest of the bad news is I lost everything. So I was just going through some of the stuff which I can no longer access, due to it, and it's things like the good news is you'll be surprised if you do lose all that and you reinstall Steam and GOG Galaxy and all this kind of things. They're really good at scanning the games and then linking up with them. I was really pleased with how that works out. So that saved me hours of faffing around. So yeah, the bad news is, of course, things like I'm trying to think what the Euro Truck. That's what I was trying to think of the name of the game here. Euro Truck Simulator or American Truck Simulator, whichever one. If either of those take your fancy. God, you lose that, you lose your profile. That's it. Boom. My 7-year profile building up with all that money, all that company. I didn't play it regularly, but every once a year, twice a year, whatever, I would get a real pang to do a bit of trucking. And I'd go trucking for a couple of weeks, and then I probably wouldn't touch it for the rest of the year. But 7 years worth of career gone. I took a start from a little old noob in a little old pookie truck, and it's just like, okay, great, not to worry. I know I could probably get a mod and or get somebody else's career down, load it, put it in the profiles, and then have infinite money or whatever, whatever it is. But I kind of not really interested in that. I was just kind of happily building, what I was building. So frustration is the name of the game here. Very frustrated with what's happened, but I did say there's some positives. Now, the positives come in the form of, one, I've got a fresh install of Windows 10, and I have to say, things run a lot better. The previous installation of Windows 10, I'm thinking, racking my brain, and this is why I wasn't too distraught in the end. That was actually an upgrade of my previous Windows 7 operating system. So yeah, I upgraded Windows 7 to Windows 10, and it's just been patching on top of that and that. So having a fresh Windows 10 install is probably the best way. So it's not got any hiccups or hangovers from the previous Windows 7 installation. But one of the other things I've been thinking about, there's a couple of games now which they're not brilliantly. Say for example, B-17, The Mighty Eighth. It runs fine on Windows 10, but it always ran better on Windows 7. And there's other games which run okay on Windows 10, but you have workarounds to get them to work better. And there's certain games that won't run on Windows 10 at all. And Windows 7 was kind of that classic. So yes, you probably guessed it. I took the advantage of this catastrophe, turned it into a positive, and I've given myself a nice dual boot system now. So I can boot Windows 7 or I can boot Windows 10. Obviously Windows 10 being my main one, but should I wish to, I could just hop into a Windows 7 environment and I may be able to check out some older games, some of those classics which you can no longer play. And I thought, oh yeah, that would be good. That would be good fun. So I'm happy I've made a positive out of the frustration of the last few days. That being said, I'll start to play around with that and see what I can and find. Some of you won't like it, some of you may. There's going to be some old games which I'm kind of trying to dig up and get them working again. I'm thinking sort of old combat flight simulators and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm quite excited about that and see what opportunities that brings along. Anything else I'm going to talk about? Yeah. Oh god, got to install Flight Simulator again, but that's going to take a while. But that aside, yes, we are up and running. Technically, I've got U-boat working fine. It's actually running a lot better than it was, so I'm quite pleased with that. I say Napoleon works, but we're going to have to start again. B-17, the Mighty Eighth, is working fine. And what are the other ones? What's the other one? Oh, Isle 2 Grey Battles is running fine. I haven't checked out Rise of Flight because I know that I put a poll up and I haven't gone back to look at the results because things have got in the way. And it was around... should we do a World War One career or a World War Two career? Be fighter or pilot? Fighter or bomber? Sorry, pilot. God, my brain is getting tired. But yeah, so we'll see what the results are on that. But I haven't checked that out. We've always got Isle 2 Great Battles with the World War One Flying Circus on there now, haven't we? So we could perhaps do that if we wanted. If the World War One stuff came out on top. So that'd be good. Anything else to tell you? I think that's probably where we are. So I'm also probably worth noting that this week, I'm obviously talking from week commencing 1st of May. I'm actually due to go away at the end of this week. So Thursday this week and Friday I'll be away working. So videos will be distraught. So what I'll try and do is try and get a B-17 video out this week. On Wednesday, as per usual, and then following that, I'll try and get a U-boat video out for the weekend, and then we'll try and start afresh next week, if that makes sense. May in the UK this month is going to be very stop-start. We've just had a bank holiday, so we had a short week this week, which is going to be nice, 4-day week, even though I've got to go all the way to blooming Stoke-on-Trent this week, which is not particularly where I want to go. You know, nothing wrong with Stoke, it's just a long way from where I am. And then obviously we got the King's coronation this weekend, so we've got another long weekend, which is, don't get me wrong, I love a long weekend, but it just means you've got to try and fit so much in work-wise into 4-day weeks. It's next to impossible. So yeah, then we've got so don't know what that was. So King's coronation, and then at the end of the month we've got another bank holiday, which is the late spring bank holiday. So yeah, lots of days off here in May, which is great really. It's all good fun, but it does mean May can be quite disruptive when it comes to trying to get things done. But I'll endeavour to get a B-17 video out this week, and hopefully a U-boat video out, and then try and start afresh in the following week. So yes, just thought I'd bring you up to date with what's going on, why it's been slightly quiet, and how and what I've been doing in the background to get it resolved. For those of you who watch the second channel, do not fear, I was able to complete the new series in recording wise last week, so that is all ready to go. Just editing it and uploading it as we speak. And those who... It was really weird actually, because I was doing a hard drive upgrade on my recording rig. I was upgrading it size-wise and speed-wise for an SSD, better one. And that all went really well. I was really pleased. And then, yeah, my gaming rig out of nowhere just decided to have a wobbly. So that's not what I want. Not what I needed. I thought, I was anticipating some computer issues, but not on my gaming rig. But there we go. These things strike at you when you least expect them. So that's what's going on. I'll try and bring us back up to date as soon as possible. I may put a few more polls up on the community tab to sort of where we go next, but or I may just make the decision. Haven't decided yet. Whatever works, I might have to just make the decision for ease and speed. Otherwise, we could be waiting another week before we make a decision on a video series. Anyway, I'm rambling now, so that's just the update of where we are, what's happened, and why the channel's kind of gone a little bit quieter than usual, and videos may be coming out slightly erratically for the next week or so, but there we go. We'll get through this, and we'll be back on song pretty soon. So thanks so much for understanding. And I'll try and get the videos to you as quick as possible. I'll speak to you later. Cheers, everyone. Bye-bye.